Hello and welcome back to Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. I am Mr. Randy, and today we're doing another full review episode. Sorry. Let me just change this real quick on my... Okay, that's the correct one. All right, if you're new to the channel, hello, welcome, come on in. All my returning viewers, you know how we do. So let's do it to it, shall we? So today we're looking at the Ardnahoe Infinite Loch Islay Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. The co-founder, Scott Lang, no official coloring, no chill filtration. We love that. Carefully aged in specially selected oak casks. Tasting notes, sea spray, Islay peat, and dark chocolate. I don't know about that dark chocolate. I don't know what they're getting off of that. On the nose, menthol, fresh fruits, and bonfire notes. And I don't know, maybe. So nothing on the opposite side, but Ardnahoe. So let's go ahead and get this made by the Loch side. So Infinite Loch is their Infinite Loch is undoubtedly adds to our stunning blah 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 proximity to our distillery. Yeah, so matured in combination of ex-bourbon and ex-Oloroso sherry cask. Hopefully it doesn't scan that. Nothing else to do with the box. Thank you for your service. Goodbye. So, let's go ahead and let's get it on, shall we? So, we'll just do a quick little run, bottle tour. You got their Ardnahoe. A stone's throw from our distillery lies Loch Ardnahoe. Islay's so-called Infinite Loch because the truth holds no one knows the extent of its hidden depths. Okay. Specifically selected non-chill filtration, 50% alcohol by volume. Give you a quick look at the backside. Not a whole lot there that we have not already covered. Imported by Silver Lake Imports, Miami, Florida. There you go. Cork pop. That was really weak. Let's get a pour on, shall we? So that last Ardnahoe that I've had was that Bolsa. Can we go ahead and take your place? Okay, where are you at? I need you. There we go. So here's Mr. Randy's handy dandy whiskey color scale. Yes, it needs to be updated. Yes, I need to add the Eve 135 color caramel coloring. Off camera, I'm going to nail this down to about, I want to say a medium brown. I think it's a beautiful, vibrant, with these old eyes, the light that glistens off of this is just, it's beautiful. So I do a 3-part series to my reviews. Part 1, off the rip, get it home, crack it open, have my first pour, share my first share my first impressions with you, because that's what we do. Part 2, full review time. We drink it down halfway, put the cork on it, put it on the shelf, let it sit for a week and a half. That's about where we're cutting it off right now, a week and a half. Give it time to open up, give it some legs, and let it run around in that bottle. Off gas, if you will. That's a beautiful thing. I'm smelling it. I'm getting ahead of myself. Go online, try and find out as much as I possibly can. Come back, we talk about it. I score it, continue to drink it, because part 3, final pour episode. Sometimes it's a very, very sad day. Anywho, thusly named, we have that final pour, compare it to the first pour off the rip, and everything in between. Well, so far, 2 for 2 with the Ardnahoe. I have not been disappointed. Let's see. Ex-bourbon, ex-Oloroso sherry cask, non-age, no color added, sorry. No, non-chill filtered. They use a worm tub condenser, and it's 20 hours peat smoked. It's 60. I paid $61.52 out the door from my not so local Total Wines and More. I get a lot more elegant Scotch from Total Wine and More than I do from my local Specs. Specs has a plethora, a cornucopia of Scotch, not as much as Total Wine, because they get a bigger footprint of a store, and they have a lot more selections. But If you want like the higher end, more, I guess, elegant type of scotch, you go to Total Wine. If you want a wider scope of like your, mid-level scotch, you go to Specs. I'm not saying that Total Wine doesn't have all those and more, but that's just how it sort of shakes out. So it's 50% alcohol, and that's the end of the notes. That was quick. On the nose, it's got a sort of bright, shiny, light orchard fruit. Sparkly light orchard fruits like green apples and pears. Tart, but also very sweet. Very nice. You do get peat and you get smoke, but it's not overwhelming. It's not the biggest. It's not the biggest character in the glass. Everything seems to be pretty well balanced. I enjoyed this as far as I've gone down. It's only halfway, but I've enjoyed it. I would say this is probably more along the lines of a slow sipper, a once in a while, not an everyday kind of thing, unless it's the only one you have. It's just that it sort of has that sort of presence, and it hangs with you in a certain mannerism that it has that effect. Not like that Bruichladdich. That Bruichladdich, that went a lot faster. This one, you have to you literally not drinking it. You are tasting it. Let's go ahead and get a taste of it. It's soft, like velvet, rolling across your tongue. You're getting a lot of deep, dark richness and a little bit of spice. It lightens up with some honey and medium caramel. Yes, this is something that you don't drink this. You taste it. You just taste off of it every little while, just a little sip, and that's why this one's taking longer, because it sort of has that level of expectation to its appreciation. But I'm not saying that Bruichladdich is any less, because that Bruichladdich was like, I don't know, like just over $50 out the door. That's easier drinker. That's a drinker. This is a sipper. That's a drinker. This is something like you got to sit around for a while and just taste it every so often. Just have a little taste. It is 50% alcohol by volume. I mean, that definitely in and of itself expects you to slow down. Yeah, I did that first one in 2 parts because, as I said, now normally what I pour in the glass, as you see on these reviews, would normally last me at least 3 times. So the average video here is like 10 to 15 minutes. The average pour I have, about 1.5 ounces. And I sip off of that for a good 30 to 45 minutes. I'm not going to take that much time on these videos. That's why I speed things up, move things along. I got to pull this back over here. Beautiful nose. Palate is very nice. Let's go ahead and let's take this next one and we'll move on. It's got very nice viscosity, transfers very well to the mouth. There is a good amount of oiliness, almost like a syrupy molasses, like a light molasses. I would probably say 2/3 of this is going to be more of the darker, richer, ripe red fruits, but do not underestimate it. There is light orchard fruit, green apple, pears, some honeysuckle, and that's not even including the peat and a little twist of smoke and sea spray you get because it is an Islay single malt. Not every Islay single malt is peaty, smoky, and briny. Bona Habang, or Bunnahabhain. That one's next. That one took longer than this one. That Bunnahabhain I'm doing. Toitechida. I'm still debating. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's good stuff. Just depends on who you ask and how they pronounce it. This is delicious. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel as of yet, go ahead and do so. Videos will come to you as soon as I release them. Some a little longer later on down the line than others. They take a little longer. But hey, isn't it the Ardnahoe saying no rush or something like that? Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and do this finish. Okay. I do a Kentucky Chew. Now, the biggest part of the Kentucky Chew is that you let it linger in your mouth long enough. I don't know what to call it, but it flips from the temperature that it is in a bottle or in a glass, where it matches your body temperature in your mouth. There's no mistaking that sensation, because it's like holding an ice cube in your mouth and then it melts. But the temperature difference is dramatic. You completely, once you get it, you got it. Once that happens, there's a whole different slew of characters and experience that you're going to have. So if you're not doing a Kentucky Chew, you're robbing yourself of an amazing experience, especially with higher end Scotch. There's this sort of off butterscotch, like caramel, Werther's caramel, that sort of happens at that point. It's delicious. Okay, we gotta move on. The finish, I'm getting cheeks, gums, lips, jowls, back end warmth is, it's over a 1, but it's not going to see a 2. It's a pretty nice finish. Even though it's 50% ABV, it's not punching like it's a 50%. It's not very powerful, it's not very pungent, it's not very overwhelmingly so. But then again, you'd have to have at least a little bit of appreciation for the higher quality Scotch before stepping into something like this one. Start low, go slow. That was my motto when I started this channel in 2025, early 2025. And I appreciate the fact that I went through all that to get to something like this. Is it my whiskey of the year? No, we've done that one already. But we got to move on. My score on this is going to be I'm going to say it's a weak 5 out of 5. It definitely deserves to be in that 5 column for sure. The price point is a steal. It's an absolute steal. That other Ardnahoe that I did was a higher price point, significantly higher. And the only difference is I never got the Oloroso sherry off the rip. I didn't sense that. It was more just a basic bourbon, ex-bourbon cask finished Scotch. Now I get a little bit of sherry influence, and that's the difference between this one and the other one. This one has a little bit of sherry influence, while the other one has a lot. So I guess that's the polarness of it, right? If you like the Scotch, the Islay single malt, and you like a lot of sherry influence, go with the Bolsa. If you like a little bit, almost negligible, and noticing it, try the Infinite Loch. My fair price on this, I'm going to leave it alone because don't you dare, don't you touch it. That's nice. For about 60 bucks out the door, that's a steal. I would definitely say this is probably more towards a $70 bottle. Would I buy this again? I just might. But I think I'd probably go with that Bolsa. I'd spend a little more and get a little more. Because this is nice for a nice oaky, spicy Scotch. But it's like I said, the sherry is almost negligible. Like you can't even really sense it until you like get deep into it. After this far into the bottle, I get a little bit, not a whole lot, but we'll see how it goes from here on. Anywho, there it is. Like to know in the comment section where you're at. What are you currently drinking? Have you had an Ardnahoe? Which one do you think is better if you've had the Infinite Loch and the Balsa? Do you like it more sherry or just a little sherry? There it is. As always, thanks for stopping by here at Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. Have a dang good one. So here's the Ardnahoe Infinite Scott Loch. So you can see it is just a tidbit cloudy. Just a tidbit, not a whole lot.